Hey, so Sharon, am I in there? I'm in the box.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the first show and that feature. What up, feature? Get that guy another round of applause. Let's wrap it up here.
Well, that was nice, wasn't it?
All right, so we have a second show happening. Please, with your timing, if you notice, the place is very crowded. So if you're timing, go short, young man. Go short, young people. Everybody in the first half, except for a couple, did that. And now the Sanderell is coming up here. So, if you don't get quiet, I'm going to start singing. Uh-oh. They don't know. They don't know. I understand your objections. I grant you the problem's not small.
Quiet, we got time.
But if you could see her through my eyes. Never meet.
I won't finish that song. Anyway, it's a horrible song, but I love it. All right, give it up for the Sanderells kicking up in the second half, or opening, kicking something or other there like that. I don't have to be clear. He does.
David Erdreich will be joining me, and I have two things to say. On the 26th, Friday, a week from this Friday, Greer Roquette on trumpet, Louis Romero on percussion, and I on voice. We'll be at Cafe International. We'll be coming on for a half hour about 9 o'clock. But the place opens up at 7, so there's artists that you might want to hear. But and the second thing is, just because you steal something doesn't mean you own it. And you guys are a tough act to follow.
Who?
Not you, just stop it. You are a tough act to follow. You are. All right, things I'd like to say. Time retrogrades on planet Mother Earth. Think we move forward, progress made. Made at what pace? Too slow to weaken this time. Appears to stand still. Progress moves forward, backwards, habit of repeating, denying time its due. Much passes as time leaves before everyone's eyes, unnoticed. Progress, yeah, in ways empires wannabes want. That thing called progress, where better chemicals, technologies make easier killing fields than USA, watered by liquid fire, bringing us plastics as we digest it from our food and water. Hey, USA, how many include our forever wars as if there haven't always been war? We do it at the behest of empires, including our own, where black robes brought sin and become destroyers of humanity. If you're a human being, this shit tears one apart. Cruelty where love should be, anger's outrages expressed. Oh, baby, take me somewhere where words mean something. Music makes me laugh, cry, dance. African beats where spirit-tongue musician Avacha speaks. Truth rolls off her tongue, as if the lie never took, while her music with musicians sends tingles on skin to worlds where only our minds can conjure from our ancient worlds. All right, this is not his country. This is a Homo sapiens who wants people to claim and comes from somewhere else to go back. This orange shark believes this is a country only for white people, where those who work for this monkey get shafted in pay. Since he's orange, that's one strike against him. I guess he still thinks he's white, with all that orangutan blood. Second, this isn't his country. These lands USA claims is stolen, which means it's still Indian country. Sorry, USA, you're just a big fat bully thief. Yeah, I'm body shaming as he does. He be my teacher. Throw your missiles from far away, kill for his and our viewing pleasures. Don't take guts or brawn, since he has none, just like the rest of our President Georges, taking orders from the signs. Hey, asshole rump, get out of here. This isn't your country. No matter how many laws you pass making illegal legal. Thirdly, he's head Homo sapien for now. There's no humanity left in him if there ever was. He'll die unloved, believing he is. Maybe like George Wallace, he'll have a near-deathbed conversion, claiming it was all a mistake, while those he killed, tortured, defamed, forgive. Not!
There we go. That's the Sanderell, ladies and gentlemen. Get up. All right, so I'm going to read the next 4 or 5 people. I really appreciate people going, keeping it short because I want to get everybody on. We have a new person, Greg Hayes. Greg?
He's not new.
He's not?
No.
Oh, where is he?
I don't know.
Wo ist Greg?
Smoking?
See if he's out there. If he's not out there, we can figure this out. So, okay, so Rob is next. Since you're also help, give Rob a round of applause. And if Greg comes in, and you let me know, and we'll take care of business. And after that, after Rob, we have Richard May, then Sharon, Scott Kish, Tommy Abigail, Buford, Mitch, Lotus, Kyle, Eric, Ariella, Miguel, Samuel, Jacob, Richard Ivanhoe of Special Note fame, and then the Carson Rider closing us out. So there we go. Give this man a round of applause, please, or someone. He doesn't like applause, so he applauds even more. That's just, kind of the way it is. Are you okay? Oh, he's okay. I'm okay. You're okay. It's like an name of a book.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Let's see, Tommy and Richard and Dee, this one's for you. This is called... This is called the Genocide Step. How do I know we're barbarians? Why, that's so simple, silly. I know that we're barbarians cause someone chopped the end of my willy. But if you lived on a factory farm, you'd only wish you were dead. The way we treat other animals makes the Holocaust look like Club Med. Let's talk about genocide. Such a very modern term. We've been doing it a long, long time, but we're turning that wretched worm. The history of combustion, it started so stunted and selective. So let's take a peek at genocide with some pertinent perspective. A million people died in Indonesia, but for 300 million cows this year we have cultural amnesia. Next. Another million massacred over in Armenia, but for 500 million sheep it's so long, won't be seeing ya. Next. The Irish genocides, they claimed another cool mill, but this year 700 million turkeys will kill. Next. 2 million Cambodians, our death toll creeping up, but that's just a drop in an 800 million rabbit cup. Next. With 12 million souls, that vegetarian Führer fell short of his goals. But what would he think about the 1 billion pigs we rake over our coals? Next. Wait a minute. Old Joe Stalin, he claimed 20 million. But let's count actual dead ducks and call it 2 billion. Next. victims of Mao's great leaps forward. But check this year's menu, 50 billion chickens we just ordered. Next. The American genocides claimed 50 million or more. Shrouds of secrecy will never know the score. And it's true, so true, that's a whole awful lot. But for 3 trillion ocean corpses, we need one damn big pot. How do I know we're barbarians? Why, that's so simple, silly. I know that we're barbarians because someone chopped the end of my willy. But if you lived in a factory farm, you'd only wish you were dead. The way we treat other animals makes the Holocaust look like Club Med.
Rob! Richard May!
Good thing I'm vegetarian.
Does that mean you eat your... I won't go there. I don't even know where I was going with that.
I'm a drug addict, I don't eat.
Oh, I'm a Buddhist. There's no such thing as meat or food. I wish. Okay, I'll move this to the side. Are you ready? All right. Give your kind attentions, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm going to do 2 short speeches. They were both written by Mr. Tom Stoppard. And the first one is going to need a little background. It's from his play Travesties. And the scene is, I'm James Joyce. And I'm about to dress down Mr. Tristan Tzara. Tristan Tzara was one of the founding members of the Dada movement.
Whoa.
So the place is Zurich, and the time is 1917. Mr. Tzara, you are an overexcited little man with a need for self-expression far beyond the scope of your natural gifts. This is not discreditable. Neither does it make you an artist. An artist is the magician put among men to gratify capriciously their urge for immortality. The temples are built and brought down around him continuously and contiguously from Troy to the fields of Flanders. If there is any meaning in any of it, it is in what survives as art. Yes, even in the celebration of tyrants. Yes, even in the celebration of non-entities. What now of the Trojan War if it had been passed over by the artist's touch? Dust. A forgotten expedition prompted by Greek merchants looking for new markets. A minor redistribution of broken pots. But it is we who stand enriched by a tale of heroes, of a golden apple, of a wooden horse, of a face that launched 1,000 ships, and above all, of Ulysses, the wanderer, the most human, the most complete of all heroes, husband, father, son, lover, farmer, soldier, pacifist, politician, inventor, and adventurer. It is a theme so overwhelming that I am almost afraid to treat it, and yet I, with my Dublin Odyssey, will double that immortality. Yes, by God, there's a corpse that will dance for some time yet and leave the world precisely as it finds it. And if you hope to shame it into the grave with your fashionable magic, I strongly urge you to acquire some genius and, if possible, some subtlety before the season is quite yet over. Top of the morning, Mr. Tzara. Okay, so this one is from his play, more well-known play, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. And I am playing the part of the player. A man breaking his journey between one place and another at a third of no name, character, population, or significance, sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. That in itself is startling, but there are precedents for various kinds of mystical events. Or to be less extreme, a choice of persuasions to put it down to fancy. That is until a second man says, "My God, I must be dreaming. I thought I saw a unicorn." At which point a dimension is added that will make the experience as alarming as it will ever be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further dimension, only spreads it thinner, and a fourth thinner still. And the more witnesses there are, the thinner it becomes, and the more real it gets until it is as thin and real as the thing we call reality. "Look, look," recites the crowd. "A horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer."
Good name. Oh, I wrote it down. I got it. Thank you. Okay, Sharon Scott Kitch is coming up here now, and after her, we have our mini feature. Some of you are going to go. Gifford, Mitch, Lotus, Kyle, Eric, Gabrielle, Miguel, Samuel, Jacob, Richard, and the curse of coming back. So try to keep your time a little on the short side. So we want to get out of here with Teddy being happy, and I'm being happy, and my mom being happy, my uncle being happy, and my next best friends, neighbors, second cousins, second grade teachers, best friends, childhood neighbors, second cousins, aunts, grandfathers, uncle. Sorry. Oh, you want this, don't you? I was doing that until she was ready to go, but I didn't. I was distracted by my idiocy.
I didn't realize David had gone to the restroom.
Oh,
He had left the building. Okay, that's fine.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, you're on.
Okay. How many must die before we can really have a free and a true peaceful society? Coretta Scott King. My father was a slave, and my people died to build this country, and I am going to stay and have a piece of it just like you. Paul Rose.
Paul Rose.
And this one. The issue of the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Whether Americans such as myself will have to suffer the indignity of being reminded time and time again that at one point in this country's history we were a human chattel and we were property. We would be traded, bought, and sold. Carol Mosley Brown.
May I interject something really quickly? You'll notice this. It's a white rectangle. This represents the only Southern flag that is relevant to history. The only relevant Southern flag. Anyway, there we go. I love that. Saw it on a Facebook post.
This was called snowsuits. Kansas City in the 40s. Winter comes, you must prepare. God forbid a kid gets cold. Every part of the body must be covered. That means head, hands, feet, legs, especially the face. If you didn't recognize the snowsuit, might lose the kid in the lineup outside school. Summer comes, but the winter clothing is arriving. And it is 80 degrees to 100 degrees, and kids are getting fitted for 10 degree to 10 below zero weather. But mind you, it's not bad enough that it's hot. Don't forget the thrifty mothers must get a suit to grow in. Now some of these suits are so oversized they will wear out before the child grows into them. The mittens always being lost. First there was the idiot mittens, string attached, slide through the sleeve. Newer version, clips. Nah, that doesn't work. Usually you use them. And now you have to outgrow these torturous things. But the older kids outgrow them, and they're passed down to the little kids. Chances are the jackets will be in great shape, but the pants will be pissed out by the time the kids get them. Kids don't usually care, but there comes an age when they do care. And there's a battle of wits. No one wants to look like a baby. And some of these suits are like the child is either a big blue Smurf or a big bolt of fabric rolled up with a hood. In the 40s, so many choices, but not so many. No decals on suits or fabric with heroes. Still just fabric, durable fabric. And the poor children living in East and Midwest heavy suits. Bolts, boots, fabric, snowshoes, everything you can imagine. Sweating, it's 10 degrees outside, but put the suit on and don't say anything. Everyone has to go downtown and get fitted for this suit. But in our neighborhood, there was one kid who dreaded it. He was 10 years old, and he was still in the 3rd grade. And this was a big hit. Ladies said he was a change of life baby. Mother doted on him. Older women were very nice to him, but he was outgrowing snowsuits. So mother decided that he had to have a new snowsuit. So she takes him downtown, and nothing is going to fit this kid because she wants the one piece that zips up the front. Well, she goes over to the tailor, and he and his wife decide that they have to make this snowsuit. Well, they measure the kid, and he's so big that the zipper, they have to get a zipper for the sofa to make the suit. So he gets a suit, and his mother wants powder blue. He gets a powder blue suit, and with the suit comes little baby ducks on the collar, and the big zipper, and the idiot mittens. He gets ready for school. First snow, there he is on the bus stop. Nobody's standing next to him, poor thing. He's standing there sweating, because it's not that cold, but it's snowing. And there he is, looking like baby Huey, in a big suit, with ducks on it, and the kid is 10 years old.
Yeah. There's got Gish. What got Figs? Being very generous. All right. Tommy, I'm going to make our many of the evening. Come on. Oh. Okay. Mr. Bill. Sorry about that. This is Tommy Avicola Emeka, and we call him that because that's his name, actually.
Yeah, that's right. It's my name.
Speech!
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
They're creepy and they're dumb ass and altogether so crass. They only like the rich class, the Donald Trump family. They got some shady dealings, they got no human feelings. They know election stealing, the Donald Trump family. Do-do-do-do. Collusion, do-do-do-do. Obstruction, do-do-do-do. 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 Collusion. So put a nice white hood on, a MAGA cap you throw on. You're gonna pay a call on the Donald Trump family. Do-do-do-do. The racist dogs in America have a pit bull leader, flea-bitten rabbit, mad as a hatter. He cages children, separates families, denies food and showers to asylum seekers, welcomes white supremacists and Nazis into the White House, tells congresswomen of color to go back where they came from, to clean up their broken and crime-infested countries. Something they're trying to do in this, their country. They won't let it go to the dogs. So, some idiot running for the Senate in Alabama recently said that America is too preoccupied with homosexual activity. This is my response to him.
Oh, yes.
The Alabama Senate candidate is right. I'm preoccupied with homosexual activity. I want it everywhere. On TV, in the movies, in every American bedroom. wanted to find the gay agenda I've misplaced. I wanted to be included in the census. I wanted to sit in a room with Mike Pence when Mother's not around.
Mommy!
I wanted to climb to the top of the Empire State Building and do Fay Ray's hair. I wanted to sneak into Mueller's testimony when he appears before Congress. I wanted to filibuster in the House until they appoint RuPaul to the Supreme Court. I wanted to be mandatory in all artificial intelligence. I wanted to join the walkout at Amazon and Uber. I wanted to fly from every flagpole and be sent on the next moon landing. Run for office. I'd vote for it for president. Wouldn't you?
Yeah!
Now to get a little more serious. Honestly, to get serious, because there are absolutely horrendous things happening in this country in our name every minute of every day. And I don't know about you, but I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah. Come on!
Not in my fucking name!
Not in my name.
Right. The 8-year-old Guatemalan boy who lived in a wooden house with a dirt floor only wanted a bike. He got a new pair of shoes, a trip to the U.S. border with his papa, who earned $6 a day when there was work, laboring hard in the coffee fields. Their families didn't hear from them again until Christmas Day, when Papa called to say the boy was dead. He had taken sick. The head of Homeland Security was quick to blame the parents. The president spoke of criminals and terrorists and funding for a wall to keep out a little Guatemalan boy who only wanted a bike. So, this is, how am I doing on time, by the way?
You got 2.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, this should do it. So this is the 50th anniversary of the infamous moonwalk. And this is something...
Wait a minute, you mean the astronaut, not,
Yeah.
okay, not Michael
Right.
Jackson. Make sure.
Okay, yes. When they went up there and they
Okay, all right.
landed on the moon.
Hit a golf club.
They didn't ask if it was okay to land on his surface, to take pictures, steal his rocks. They didn't apologize for stabbing a pole into his flesh. Didn't see the blood or hear the cries. They were too anxious for the photo op, to leave footprints permanently etched in the soil, to utter the 11 words that have immortalized them. They left without even a simple thank you to the gracious man in the moon who never once said, "Go back to where you came."
Wow.
Tommy! Buford. All right. Buford Bunton, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round. Then we got Lotus, Kyle, Eric, Ariel on the bells. Jack Daniels. Only kidding about that. Morgan Freeman, are you here?
No,
Morgan?
no.
Alistair Crowley in the All Night Images?
Not here.
Damn it.
Lucky to have Morgan Freeman.
There we go. All right.
You're the best voice who ever came in the room.
How you doing there, Buf?
I'm all right.
All right, here we go.
This is called, well, this first one doesn't really have a title, but this is what it sounds like. My students walking across the quad to lunch. Walking back comes another one. A student too slow. Others come at moderate pace, mostly no talk. Some proclaiming a hoot or two. Let me see if it's going up. Oh yeah, there it is. All right. This is called M. His silent state, moving through life, looking for empty plastic water bottles outside the classroom as we walk on our journey. Let me see. Let's see. I'm not great at this, but I bought this thing, so I want to.
They can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. At 16 years old, biting on his right hand, never through collecting a connoisseur of petroleum byproduct, chewing on that hand, autism-laden hand. Okay.
And now, Mitch needs a round of applause, and we got Lotus, Kyle, Eric, Ariella, and the Lord of Darkness. Lord of Darkness.
Thank you.
Yeah, you next. Thank you. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I have a pulse and everything.
Hello, everyone. You guys also have pulses? Nice, we're all alive. Wow, pretty cool. Mesmerized, they listened in awe as he went up and down the scale. Steady, melodic, slow with the swing. Slowly they swayed side to side, their body's muscle memory, the only thing that was still alert. Almost hypnotized, they listened. Emotions, pain, love, joy, and a deep sadness underlying it all had them entranced. Standing outside, Simon leaned against the walls, eyes closed, enjoying the smoke, accompanied by the music pouring out from the club. Hey, man, the guy stepped up to him, appearing as if from deep within the shadows. Can I bum a smoke? Reaching out, he handed the man a cigarette from his pack. Stepping back, he resumed his stance against the wall, eyes closed. I usually have my own, man. Huh? He replied, awakened from his thoughts. Yeah, I usually have my own smokes, but I'm a little down on my luck, you know? Simon looked at the man, running through waves in his head to indicate that he was not interested in chatting. Hard times, cutting my hours at work, got a family to support. Smoking the cigarette, he looked at him, extending his hand. Jimmy! Simon, shaking Jimmy's hand, he began bobbing his head to the music from inside the club. Yeah, times are hard, Jimmy continued, seemingly unable to see the young man's lack of interest in the conversation. Times have never been this hard. Everything's expensive now. It's just hard. The man looked at him. Simon sighed and reached into his back pocket for his wallet. You want a couple bucks, man? He said as he opened the wallet and began fiddling with the bills. What's that gonna do? Jimmy scoffed. Man, I'm here trying to tell you the way it is. Why don't you just listen while I teach you something? Brother, I'm just trying to have a cigarette, enjoy my beer, and listen to some music. Simon began to put out the cigarette and walk towards the club. Jimmy walked to block Simon's way. I'm not your brother. I'm someone who's just being pushed out for your booze and music. Jimmy looked at Simon. See, this place used to be for families, a decent area where they could buy homes and raise their kids. I grew up here, but now this neighborhood is becoming a place for nightlife. Bars and booze now, and you young people are moving in to be closer to the nightlife. Simon tried to walk around Jimmy. Listen, man, I don't know about that. Jimmy continued to block his path. The music was still playing inside the club. Simon was getting more anxious, began to get frustrated. Man, I don't have nothing to do with you not having any cash. I'm trying to have a good night. Do you mind? Simon began to walk past Jimmy as Jimmy continued blocking his way. Inside the club, Simon's date was listening to the music, barely noticing what was happening just on the other side of the window. The cocktails fancy and strong, the music great. This was a hot new joint on a strip of hot new joints in an up-and-coming neighborhood. Hoping to move into the hood if she could ever afford it. She enjoyed hanging out on the strip. Simon, blocked by Jimmy, desperately just wanted to go inside, but Jimmy wanted Simon to hear how angry he was. His landlord has raised his rent again. This time it was too much, double what it was, and he could barely afford that. He would have to move, but to where? He would have to leave the place he grew up, lived his whole life, raised his kids, the place he loved. It was all gone to young kids with computers and money. He worked fixing cars in and out of different garages, unpaid injuries, and at 57, feeling every day of those years. Now these new privileged kids can just walk in and take what he worked so hard for and is losing simply because he's poor. Simon felt bad, he did. There was a guilt he felt for moving in here and paying a rent he could easily afford while others had to leave. But that was capitalism, right? It wasn't his fault that his dad had computers around the house and he had access to them. There were a lot of long nights staring at the computer screen just trying to make the code work. He's just trying to live, and why not? Of course he felt bad. But there was nothing for him back home, and this was the city of culture that he's trying to enjoy, except the guy keeps trying to get him to see his problems. He sees the problems, but they aren't his problems. All right, man, Simon said, stretching out his hands, one aimed at Jimmy's shoulder to end the conversation. Jimmy smacked Simon's hand. Don't be touching me. I'm just trying to get you to realize the damage you're doing by hanging out here. All right, man, I get it. Thank you for enlightening me. I'm going to go inside. My girl's waiting. No, Jimmy shouted angrily, still blocking Simon's path. Why go back in there and support them? I can't afford my home. That's not my problem. Simon angrily fired back at Jimmy. I'm sorry, man. I have nothing to do with your rent being raised. It sucks, and I'm sorry. Intending to finally end and leave the conversation once and for all, he forcefully made his way through Jimmy, bumping him. Tossing his cigarette to the ground and grinding it deeper, he smashed it in with his foot. Jimmy, furious, reached for Simon's shoulders, turning him around. The two men began to fight. Inside, Simon's date was swaying to a fast-paced swing. She didn't look out the window. If she had, she would have seen two men fighting. She would have seen one man wrap his hands around the other man's neck. Sliding to the ground, the one man struggling, fighting, the other angry and overpowering. If only she had looked out the window, she could have stopped before he stopped moving.
Thank you. Woo! All right.
All right. And it looks like we're doing okay, but still going short is a good idea. And we got some new people coming up here, it looks like.
So Lotus, haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. I used to live just right up the street. Now I live on the edge of the Tenderloin, and anyhow, in a very low income, very nice place, very nice. Can't complain except I miss being the neighbor. Anyhow, I better start doing my thing. So this is a kind of a song chant that I wrote a week after I became homeless the second time I was homeless. I'm not homeless now, not for a long time. But anyhow, this came to me a week after I was homeless for the second time, and it's kind of the story of what happened. Here it is. Taking it one day at a time, making it one day at a time. Got to keep on keeping on. Got to keep on singing your song. You might be part of a family full of love and security. Along come hoodoo at your door. Home and family, they're no more. One day rich as a soul can be, next day begging for a cup of tea. Life's a party with your friends, next day seem like it's the end. There's some evil folk live in the dark, wreck your life for just a lark. And you know conscience can be found. Take all you got, oh yeah, just hanging around. To these folk, it's just a joke. Lie and lie, your life's up in smoke. Take and take till it's all gone. Upon a soul and split by dawn. You got to keep on with the fight. Turn things around, make it right. Lord, He gonna help you make it through. Who do karma, gonna get 'em too. And you're still taking it one day at a time, making it one day at a time. I got to keep on keeping on, got to keep on singing your song.
All right, thank you. Again, a generous soul. Okay, now Kyle? Is it Kyle? Kyle? Is there a Kyle in the house? Kyle, M-A, I don't know. Okay, so we don't know. That person was going to be new. How about Eric? Eric? Eric the half a B? Hey. Never mind. Sorry about that. Okay, well, maybe they were that table that left it. Ariella. Ah, there we go. Woo! She's new! She's new! It's Ariella! It's Ariella! Oh my God! It's the house!
Yeah, I believe so.
This is your first time here, right? I just want to make sure.
No, it was the second time.
Oh. Really? Did we do that before? Did we do that before? Okay, well, you know.
Thank you.
That's you're more than welcome.
Okay. I'm gonna get into it. This one's called In Autumn Lost. In a coral-colored infested forest, draped in a star-filled midnight, I'm uplifted. And in less than a minute, I no longer hear the city. I'm lost in an autumn where Delhi's elephant elegantly stomps across a field. How honey melts in your mouth is how I dissolve into you. We keep our secrets like a toffee that eventually gives. I tread lightly, even though you asked me not to. I put up obstacles thinking I'm sly, but you just fling them out the window. I tug gently at the small thread of your shirt because I want none of you, and I want all of you. Sometimes I wish you lived here, where it's cold almost all the time, where the cold sneaks up on you in the shadows around the corner of a massive building with cracks instead of wrinkles to show its age. Other times I don't wish at all, but I like the thought of you being next door, stationed like a chunk of concrete cracked by a blade of grass, unafraid and vibrant. Sometimes I wish the words flowed with an ease of a calm river. Instead, all the words rattle in my brain like an insidious fly, unable to find the window to escape to. At least I know they're there, lost until they find a window. Writing you off. I am writing you off. Can you feel the tension rising? Embellished lifestyle disassemble. Your spiritual awakenings last but as much as your focus. Ice cold, they cut you like a sharp knife in salty water of envy and silence infested with sharks. If kindness were money, we'd be in poverty. All tied up in pseudo smiles and stored away social anxiety. I'm writing you off my back. Can you feel the tension rising?
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Miguel. And we got Samuel, Jacob, Richard, and then the cursive writer coming back to close out this wonderful, happy time of ours.
Thank you.
It's sunflower fields. Highway 5, northbound. No other period in the world known to man could you ever witness a spider moving 75 miles per hour. Holding on to dear life on a windshield. It doesn't even know what's a windshield. I am the spider, clinging onto a surface of what? I didn't mean to be here, yet here you are, and me, and her, and them, condemned to live out a tragedy, a comedy perhaps. For what? Merged onto Highway 80, westbound and down. Fields of yellow emerge, reflecting the golden orb, ancient god of man. Then I remember why I still hold on. It's called Bay Cities. Sanguine brake lights on slave-infested freeway. Yellow brick road lined with homeless tents and used syringes. Cancerous tech industry consume fog-laden, usurped sacred lands. A tumor-ridden West oozes pus of innovative revenue, creating a gooey political environment for bloated squirrels in ivory towers above the clouds. Fevered, hormonal yuppies incognizant disdain the gaunt tenderloin and wink at gaudy Nob Hill as they surf social justice waves at Ocean Beach. Slutty technological flowers attract profit-seeking bees, buzzing, ready to sting pesky tenants into submission, death if necessary. Warriors remain, dwindling, lucid, albeit peaked. They ward off the tide of gentrification, but for how long?
Yeah. Samuel. Samuel? And he is also new, right? You're new, right? Come on, people! That's Samuel for crying out loud. That's Samuel. Samuel. All right, let me.
This is way too high, dog.
All right.
Is
this way too high?
This is way too high.
Fine.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sam. This is something called brevity hyperbole. Undead meat fed, the zombie said, unto his zombie wife. Eating brains, old days a strain, I want a better zombie life. So off he went on zombie feet in search of a new zombie treat. And on return, his wife did learn her zombie partner hated meat. Look, he said, it's grains instead, and tasty too like brains and head. But all these grains she did not like. But all these grains they did not like.
Come on, baby. You got it. Sure. You got it.
Make it like
But all these grains. No. But all these grains they didn't like. An outcast though he knew he was, he kept on eating grains because they're good for you, he'd rant and rave. A vegan movement grains did pave. I tell this tale so you may know that zombies reap what zombies sow. So if you're going to eat some brains, treat yourself instead to grains. I've done it 1,000 times and I'm getting in the middle.
You're in a new spot, that's all. It's just crazy.
Well, you know, it's the weirdest thing. I wouldn't have stage fright if my dick was out right now. That's the weird part. Anyways, okay, okay. So then I have another one. This is called Christmas Night. Okay, we gotta do a voice for this one. It's festive. This is about Santa Claus, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and a Jewish mime. Okay. Yes, and this is serious. Don't laugh. Save your laughter to the end, like a dignified funeral. Okay. Okay. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and there Kringle sat, looking real stern beneath a red hat. Said, "Look here, son, the problem's begun deep in the land before time. Tyrannosaurus Rex is making a mess with that damned Hanukkah mime. Now, being a mime, Silent Night fit him fine, quiet as a mouse just as well. But when his time is up, kosher wine in his cup, send his Jew ass right to hell. Now, Tyrannosaur had a hankering for eating kids' presents real fast, and that's when I knew with the help of that Jew, there'd be no more Christmas at last. Well, I went around to hunt Tyrannosaur down, but all I could find were his tracks. Till I got a lead and leapt with all speed, my sword and my shield on their racks. Well, I saw him right there sitting on Kringle's chair, so I deholstered my blade. Said, hey there, man. Pulled out my shield and said, hey there, man. Your dinosaur ass won't be saved. Well, I thought it was done, but I thought I was through when that damn sneaky Jew pulled the Star of David to toss. But I was saved by the Son, Jesus Christ. Oh, but I was saved by the Son. Oh, man. I forget it.
Take a breath.
Got this.
All right.
I fucked it up somewhere there. I thought it was done, but saved by the Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross. There it is. So I turned in through my sword at that Jew and impaled him like halal kebab. Now just to deal with Tyrannosaur Rex and all those kids he thought he could rob. With a swoop of my blade, I took off his head, and now he's a mount on my wall. And Kringle brought in the Ice Age of change with Christmas and presents for all. There it is.
Watch out for the wire, watch out for the wire. There you go. All right. Thank you, Samuel. And then we got Richard, and then the Curse of Ryder. We're zooming in on every darn thing. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Dan. How's it going?
Good.
Hello, everybody. All right. Prelude. Did you hear about the rose that grew in the crack of the concrete? Proving nature's law wrong. It learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared. So I read that in 8th grade in detention.
Detention, dude.
And it taught me that poetry can go beyond self-pity.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, well, let me excuse this. All right. History class has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. History will teach you slavery, genocide, and disease, but the curriculum always skips over the fact that we are roots. We are power, and we are renaissance. If social media is the gallery, how much longer will we be content calling these departed brothers art? T-shirt man will sell out well before Sunday. Mural man will be able to pay the rent this month. Mothers will raise the stocks of Kleenexes, and church bells will put on concerts. We the people. Hello, my name is Momentary Activism. The protests will eventually go on strike. The street will be heavily medicated. Flowers will be placed atop the blood halos until they too join the lost ones. Headlines are the new hotcakes. Another name added to the list. Internet ablaze, outrage, artificial teardrops, static, silence, repeat. We are God. We have successfully created an infinity loop because of the internet. I tell my baby cousin, pray that these arroz frijoles are bulletproof. Pray the pavement does not etch your epoch. Pray heaven doesn't pay no mind to this segregation. Pray earth can overcome this overdose. Red, white, and blue, advertisement campaign for freedom and opportunity. At least that's what the postcard told all of immigration. Red, white, and blue, color synonymous with fear. Whenever I see this light show, my blood pressure reaches volcanic levels. My bones threaten to erode, and my mind thinks of the will it never got around to writing. Seeing a cop in the rear view is a revelation of mortality. My body is paperwork. My birth certificate was always an obituary. Alleyways are my glimpse at afterlife. Alleyways are the chosen few. Alleyways are the poems God intended to write, but never got around to. The precinct remains permanent in the pupil. You start seeing the shackles of this proposed reality. You start seeing demons where angels once paid rent. Handcuffs cut deep. My wrist forgets its movements are voluntary. Handcuffs have my grandmother. Handcuffs have my unborn seed. Handcuffs have the future I wrote behind the eyelids of my childhood. Handcuffs have more in me than me. All I want is the right to breathe. All I want is to hear my footsteps and know I'm not being followed. All I want is for these bottles we hide in to be turned to Molotovs. All I want is for these blunts to spark revolution. In a country that is a concept, in a country that casually auctions off its people, in a country that calls corruption capitalism, who will survive in America? who will survive in America? Of childhood, I remember gallo pinto on the weekends, used bookstore raids, park powwows, and a Spanish parable. One Sunday, the Raiders had lost another game. Between sips, Grandpa said, "Hijo, remember, we are the original warrior." Thank you.
Yeah! There you go! And Richard, this is Richard Ivanhoe, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't been here long. Then you got the person rider coming back, as we like to call him, because, well, that's what we call him. He hosts a series the second Tuesday, right? At the Page Street Library, 7 o'clock. Great place to go.
It's a really great series.
Just
Free
so people
food.
know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Guacamole.
So, lightning round. So, one short one. Where's the good news?
Oh, God.
The Army Corps is planning to dredge the bay so oil tankers can get their way. To Alexandria from the Bronx, from the White House gnome. Did he really mean to say, Yankee go home? The impeachment resolution today seemed something great. Too bad the Dems can be such invertebrates. The city's allowing a lot more scooters. Tripping over one will not be cuter. Why are so many sleeping in public spaces when there are still thousands of vacant places? Still, nothing's more outrageous than seeing kids in cages. What can we do? Don't give up. Get up, close up, grown up, check up, wake up, shake up. We can be smart. We can be committed. We can learn. Before I adjourn, I now discern it must be your turn.
Brighter, then we can take care of these fancy prizes, designed, as I like to say, with your mind in mind. Just while they're getting set up, I read a very interesting story in the not in the regular news, but
We're ready.
news.
Hey, we're ready. Hey,
Jesus, I'm
Hey,
trying to
we're
get
ready.
some good news out there to these people.
baby.
Go ahead. Finish.
Okay, so in Seattle, they the city government and some large scale kind of church place they have a plan where if you're homeless but have a car, they have a parking lot, and you can park your car in the parking lot overnight, and there's a shower and a kitchenette, little phone stuff, all this kind of crap, right? Everything you need to have an okay time in your car until you figure out what you're doing. My thought was, so why don't they do tents? Anyway, so there we go. But still, progress, right? It was like, hello, we could do that here. Anyway, sorry, you may go.
Well, hello everyone. We're
Hello,
back.
Richard.
This one's called Empire and People.
Is it?
Oh, it's lovely.
I love it.
Oh, we're a lovely group.
What a lovely group.
An empire, its people care less about the wreckage of humanity, flora, fauna left behind. After all, didn't most of their parents clean up after them, paying bribes wherever they could make them and their children look good, while the poor, intelligent student working their asses off, forced to give to the rich, who should just shut the fuck up and put up before the masses just get sick of it. After all, USA screws its citizens while keeping them at each other's throat for the benefit of wealthy classes. Middle, working class, poor classes seem to be blending into one, poor. Those poor who work 2 or 3 jobs to survive, but then again, certain class believes the poor deserve what they get. They're poor. They know all too well the truth of USA. Poor should never be entitled to anything. Hide in your towers. A peaceful revolution may happen, and you won't see it coming. Too high up in your steel glass towers, ready for the fall that eventually happens to everyone, everything. Give me shelter. Give me shelter. Film about the Stones 69 tour, ending with Altamont, when Stones took Lucifer on tour. Lyrics say it all. Official death of good time hippie. But hippies were left never noticed, nor did the younger who now play at hippie. Yeah, rape, murder is just a shot away, not very hippie. But then again, truth, reality for some hippies, hard to take. Some will fight you when one doesn't believe their way. A little bit like Sky God people who, if you criticize, ready to do you in, forgetting their gods are supposed to take care of that. Storm, flood is surely threatening us, as Mick proclaimed about himself, and then, as then, today. Nothing changed. We still rape, murder. We're still that mad bull. It's rape, murder, war, citizens, children were rounded up. Isn't a cattle drive or a Monsanto product, but a rounding up of people, keeping children in camps, reservations, kept in poverty, where it's loose and citizens believe all Indians are rich, awash with all that gambling money. Relieves responsibility they never felt obligated to keep. You know our words, treaties, agreements. Where blacks killed with impunity. Oh, I thought it was a gun, when the light of a cell phone can clearly be seen on the recording. Those not killed fill USA's slave prisons. We lie when we say we're a Christian country. Illegitimate founding fathers didn't believe in deities, except when it was to serve their purposes, justifying, put into law the name of God for their masses. Homeless becomes the new Romas. People forever without a home wanders our streets, become feral unattached. Oh yeah, give me us shelter before we bleed away, kill, rape by the mongrel Homo sapiens. The ruling class, whose paychecks are signed by the real rich, eat everything, including us and more. Yeah, give me shelter, give me shelter. I'm bleeding away. I do want to love my sisters, but I'm dying here, bluing away, bleeding, no shelter. It's war on children, soldiers, away. It's just a shot away. Never got that kiss, kiss, kiss away. Kiss, kiss, kiss away. Shot away. Passing. Dying.
Cassandra L.
Man.
And the man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. If you've had half as much as fun as I've had, you've had too much fun. When you came in, you signed next to a name. You signed your name next to a number. Notice these cards have numbers. I've been shuffling them, and Sharon Scott Kitchen's going to cut them. And then I'll call numbers, and then she'll figure out the name, and then any one of these prizes and or the special cards, which people know about. And there's Mr. Natural. Give him a round of applause. I love him. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And I owe more than I want to tell him. All right, so a drum roll, please. Number 9.